Jungkook and Lisa exist in a space where every movement is watched, every absence questioned, and every silence interpreted. They are not just global stars. They are cultural mirrors reflecting the emotions, hopes, and imaginations of millions. And lately, what fans are seeing reflected back is not clarity, not reassurance, but a quiet that feels deliberate, measured, and deeply unsettling. For weeks now, something has felt different. Not loud enough to trigger headlines, not obvious enough to be dismissed as coincidence, but persistent enough to linger. Jungkook, once comfortably visible through casual updates and familiar rhythms, has retreated into a stillness that feels intentional. Lisa, known for balancing her global presence with carefully curated openness, has mirrored a similar restraint. Together, or perhaps apart, they have created a shared absence that fans cannot ignore. This is not the kind of silence that happens when schedules clash or when artists disappear briefly to rest. This is a silence that feels chosen. And when two of the most scrutinized figures in modern pop culture choose silence at the same time, the world listens harder. Fans began noticing the gaps slowly. A missed interaction here. A delayed appearance there. Moments where timelines almost touched but didn't quite align. Events where one was expected yet absent. Posts that never came. Words that were never typed. None of it dramatic on its own, but together, it formed a pattern that felt too careful to be accidental. What makes this moment so powerful is that there is nothing concrete to hold on to. No leaked photos. No confirmed reports. No official statements. Just behavior. Just timing. Just choices. And sometimes, behavior tells a far more honest story than words ever could. Jungkook has always carried an aura of emotional transparency. Even when he says little, fans feel they understand him. His silences in the past felt temporary, even gentle. This time it feels heavier. Like a door closed quietly rather than left ajar. He appears when required, performs when necessary, but the familiar warmth that once flowed freely now feels carefully contained. Lisa, on the other hand, has mastered the art of presence without explanation. She knows how to command attention without oversharing, how to stand at the center of global conversations while revealing almost nothing personal. Yet even for her, this level of restraint feels unusual. Her public moments feel sharper, more professional, less personal. The spark is still there, but it's guarded. Individually, these shifts might not raise alarms. Together, they create a shared tension that fans can feel but cannot define. And that tension is what keeps people watching, speculating, and replaying every detail. There is a reason silence unsettles people more than scandal. Scandal gives answers, even if they're messy. Silence offers nothing but space. And in that space, imagination runs wild. Fans are not just asking what is happening. They are asking why it feels like something is being protected. Some believe the silence is a shield. A way to draw boundaries in a world that consumes intimacy as entertainment. Jungkook and Lisa have both grown up under relentless attention. They know what happens when narratives spin out of control. Silence, in that sense, becomes power. A refusal to feed speculation, even as it grows. Others feel the silence suggests distance. Not drama, not conflict, but a quiet separation from expectations. A step back from the roles fans unconsciously assign them. When stars stop performing accessibility, it forces audiences to confront an uncomfortable truth. We are not owed answers. What complicates everything is the emotional investment fans carry. Jungkook and Lisa are not just admired. They are projected onto. Fans see pieces of themselves in their journeys, their struggles, their moments of vulnerability. When that connection suddenly feels muted, it creates anxiety. Not because something bad has happened, but because something familiar has changed. The panic isn't rooted in evidence. It's rooted in instinct. Longtime follower sense shifts the way one senses a change in weather. Not through facts, but through feeling. And the feeling right now is uncertainty. Social media has only amplified this tension. Every appearance is dissected. Every outfit analyzed. Every expression paused and replayed. Fans search for meaning in the smallest gestures, the briefest glances, the most mundane choices. Silence turns trivial details into symbols. And yet, neither Jungkook nor Lisa breaks it. There is something almost poetic about that. In an industry built on constant visibility, choosing silence is an act of resistance. It disrupts the cycle of consumption. It forces the world to slow down, to wait, to sit with not knowing. But waiting is uncomfortable, especially when the figures involved have become emotional anchors for millions. Fans don't just want news, they want reassurance. They want to know that nothing is wrong, that nothing has been lost, that the connection they feel is still valid. What if the silence isn't about loss at all? What if it's about growth? Both Jungkook and Lisa are at points in their lives where reinvention feels inevitable. They've achieved heights few ever reach. At that level, visibility stops being exciting and starts becoming exhausting. Silence then becomes a form of self-preservation, a way to reclaim control over a narrative that no longer belongs solely to them. There's also the weight of expectation. Fans expect continuity. They expect consistency. When stars change without explanation, it disrupts the emotional contract fans believe they share with them. This doesn't mean fans are entitled to answers, but it explains why silence feels so loud. The most fascinating part of this moment is that nothing has actually happened, and yet everything feels like it has. No scandal has broken. No story has been confirmed. But the emotional temperature has shifted. And that shift is real. In a strange way, Jungkook and Lisa have become symbols of a larger conversation about boundaries, privacy, and the cost of constant visibility. Their silence forces fans to confront the limits of access. It asks an uncomfortable question. How much do we really need to know? For some fans, the silence has deepened their respect. They see strength in restraint. Maturity in choosing quiet over explanation. For others, it has sparked fear. Fear of disconnection, fear of change, fear that something meaningful is slipping away without warning. Both reactions are valid. And both are fueled by the same thing, care. Because people don't panic over silence unless they are deeply invested. As days pass and the quiet continues, the story evolves without adding new information. A reminder that even the most beloved figures are allowed to step back, to protect their inner worlds, to exist without explanation. Or perhaps the silence is temporary, a pause before clarity returns. No one knows. And that not knowing is what makes this moment so powerful. In the end, silence doesn't always mean something is wrong. Sometimes it means something is being guarded. Sometimes it means something is changing. And sometimes, it simply means two people have chosen quiet in a world that never stops talking. For now, fans are left listening to the silence, reading between the moments and waiting, not for answers but for understanding. And until Jungkook or Lisa decides to speak, the quiet will continue to echo louder than any headline ever could.